I'm very, very excited again today, this week. It's been quite a week. Um, I was gone for a week with my parents, and taking the time to be able to spend with them is just priceless to me. So, but I'm back and started the week off with mm, one of our first water workshop demos at someone's home, which went very, very well. So I feel that this is going to be another way that we're going to help educate people, because there's nothing like tasting everything and seeing the different waters at work. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Sabine Gaudette, and you're going to have a wonderful presentation by my husband, Roger. And just to kind of prep you as to how we got started, um, back in the day, about, well, it's almost 11 years ago now, I had my own cleaning business. And one of my clients introduced me to this water machine. And it was just the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. I went to a presentation. I drank the water, and I was able to use these waters for cleaning, disinfection, and the water tasted great. And I really, really, when I did the math on it, I was going to save a lot of money on my cleaning business. So on that premise, I came home and I was all excited about it, and and of course my husband was having none of it, and he's going to share his story of what happened with that introduction of this water, because we went through quite a traumatic life with illness. So he's going to tell you about that. So our life has changed because of this water, and simply by sharing this with other people, we've collected a community of people that are just as passionate about helping people um, change their water and change their life. So I'm so glad you all took the time to come here today, and so take lots of notes. And without further ado, my beautiful husband, Roger Gaudette, will educate you.
Awesome. Thanks, babe. Good job. Yeah, when Sabina came with this water, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing ever. I was already a gallon of water a day drinker already. I suffered 19 years with something called Gulf War illness. So I had a lot of post-traumatic stress, major traumatic depression, cluster migraines, vertigo, sciatica, just constantly in pain. I slept 2 or 3 hours per night every night. I could not sleep any more than that. And for her to come home with these jugs and jugs and jugs of water, saying that it was going to change my life, it's supposed to be really healthy for you. And I said, well, what is it? She goes, it's Kangen water. I said, well, what's Kangen water? She goes, well, in Japan, it means return to origin. I said, okay, in this house, it means return to where you got it from. We had lots of amazing water out of our tap before they chlorinated it. And even when we lived in Northern Ontario, we had 3 artesian wells that just made this beautiful water out of the bubbling out of the ground. And it never changed my life from all the suffering that I was dealing with and all the medications that I was on. But really, it wasn't until she broke it down to how much she could save with this machine that it absolutely made sense to me. And I mean, here I was sick at home, I couldn't work, and so she was the only breadwinner, and I didn't want to put any more financial stress on the family. But once she said it would pay for itself within that year, that's the only time it made sense. So we bought the machine. I started drinking from it. I really didn't know how to work it. She goes, just keep it on this button and just drink all you want, because I love just drinking right from the tap. And so that made it easy for me. So almost immediately, I felt a thumping in the back of my brain, like with every heartbeat. And it went on for about 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, it just let go. And when it let go, all my PTSD diminished to next to nothing. My cluster migraines were gone. My vertigo was gone. Back pain, sciatica was gone. I slept 8 to 10 hours per night, and I was just blown away. But I started feeling so good. I was getting rid of all the medications I was on, because I just didn't want to be on drugs anymore. And so what would happen is I was still trying to prove her wrong that this machine didn't do what she talked about. And so I stopped drinking the water, and within 2 days, my symptoms started coming back. I start drinking the water again, they go away. And after 4 times, I said, enough, it's enough. The placebo effect is gone. It's like, it's the water. By far, it's the water. And so since 2010, I've had no symptoms, no drugs, no doctors, no physiotherapists, no psychologists, no chiropractors. And through that, after 4 years of being symptom free, because I would have gave thousands and thousands of dollars just to be symptom free for a day. And after 4 years, that's when I had Change Your Water, Change Your Life put onto my arm. Okay, and I had Mr. Ashiro, the founder of the company, actually put his signature on it, and I had it tattooed in a room in Anaheim, California. But his thing is like spreading true health globally with compassion, one family at a time. And that's what happened to Sabine. Is the people that she was house cleaning for had a machine on their counter, and they started sharing with her the information and how this machine works and how it could save her money in her business. And that compassion, we moved forward and we brought that on for ourselves as well. Because once it started changing my life, I would have never have done anything like this if it didn't do what it did. I'm just that type of person. I'm that skeptical, and I'm that scientific and engineering of that of wanting to know why something worked. So that's why we developed a presentation to educate everybody, because I think everybody needs to have this, one family at a time. Okay, so again, I also lost 80 pounds. Okay, through working out. I had no lactic acid buildup. I was never sore. I was able to push myself as hard as I can, but I drank a gallon of water in that hour and a half in the gym. Okay, I was never sore. After I got home, it was almost like I never worked out. I could actually went back to work out. So that's what I did. That's how extreme I am as an athlete. I'll just dive right in. Okay, so a little bit about the company. We're in 40 locations in 23 countries. So we have distribution centers all over the world. So we could travel wherever we want and either bring our machine or stop at these locations, and then we could actually get water. And Sabine and I are at such a rank that they'll actually loan us a machine if we're in that country. But all the machines are manufactured out of an OEM, original equipment manufacturer. So that means nothing is outsourced at all. So the quality control remains inside that facility. And they're putting this machine together one person at a time, making it just like a Rolls Royce would be built, right? So we have ISO awards, okay? So we have ISO 9001 environmental. We have the manufacturer itself, and the big one being the 13485, the manufacturing of a medical device. So with that certificate, that allows me to be able to bring as much water as I want on a plane. Okay, I could bring my machine in the overhead compartment, that's 7 pounds, and I'm able to also bring jugs. Okay, I'll show you with jugs. These jugs, like 4 or 5 of them, if I want, onto a plane. You can't do that with any other water because it's a medically produced water that helps my immune system, that helps build me. So with that certificate, we're allowed to bring that water on. They'll test it for bomb, but that's about it. Okay, so we're a Water Quality Association. So we have 3 or 4 certificates with the WQA, and that's standardization that's worldwide. So not only the way the machine filters the water, because it has a filter inside, but also the materials that it's built with, because it's all medical grade materials, but also the end result being the water. So with those certificates, it's able to go into nursing homes, diners, naturopathic offices, and just restaurants and gyms, okay? So that makes it available to go in there. members of Direct Sellers Association. So we're direct sellers. We just sell directly to the consumer through distribution centers all over the world. So I could meet somebody on Facebook in Russia and be able to sell him a machine or get him hopefully maybe on the water through an office that they could try the water and then eventually purchase a machine from me from all over the world, from here in Port Moody where I am. Okay, this one I find amazing because it's Enagic is approved at the Japanese Association for Preventative Medicine for Adult Diseases. So in Japan, they're not waiting till you get sick. They're actually looking at prevention. Not like we are in North America. We're just focused on putting a lot of money into stopping somebody from when they're in their sickness or their disease. This is looking at the prevention. So they've certified this machine year after year as the #1, and that's 6,500 doctors that certified this machine as that. Okay, on our team, we have a lot of professionals. Okay, we got doctors of holistic studies, we got fraud detectives from the RCMP and Toronto Police. So you could just imagine how they've scrutinized this machine and the whole company to make sure they weren't getting scammed. This is what they did. And some of them really put us through the ringer, but they were sold after trying the water and seeing how rock solid the company was. Holistic practitioners, we got molecular biophysicist. He noticed that he studied the inside of a blood cell, and his discovery was there was something that couldn't upregulate the mitochondria, and he found out that it was the water, this water with the electrical charge and the hydrogen that was able to do that. So he bought a machine immediately. Okay, we got chemists, heads of nursing, American Anti-Cancer Institute ambassadors, okay, police officers, nurses, it just goes on and on of the quality of people that we've generated on our team. Okay, so I just want to show you this because these are people that really put us through showing all the science, all the studies, seeing the office, learning about the company, that they were able to now say, okay, this is something I could get behind and bring this into my family's life. Okay, so how it all started was these blue zones all over the world. There's places, I believe there's 5 to 7 places that people go and collect the water, and they call it holy water or miracle water, and they drink the water and a lot of their aches and pains go away. And that's why they call it these miracle or holy water. Okay, but there was a massive study with the Hunza people that live high in Pakistan in the Himalayas, where the water came off the mountain from the glaciers and created an energy. And the water had 3 amazing properties. It was alkaline, and it was an antioxidant, and had cellular hydration. Okay, and these people lived long into old age, no illness, don't even know what cancer is. Okay, this is the amazing part of why this water is so popular. Okay, so the scientists from Germany, Russia, Japan tried to recreate this water because it's got to be a way of doing it. And it wasn't until the Japanese, who are the masters of technology, were able to create a process called ionization or electrolysis. And the company was Enagic. Okay, so they're the granddaddies of this. And they had machines the size of fridges, like you see in the picture there. You know, they're the size of a fridge, where people would come into the actual hospital with their jugs, collecting this water and getting the same effect that they were getting with the Hunza people and all these other locations in the world. Okay, Mr. Oshiro seen this, loved the company, loved everything it stood for. He loved the fact that it was making people healthy. And what he did is he developed a small unit that would sit on your counter. And this went through massive testing. So how many plates, slotted, mesh, solid plates. Okay, did I say solid already? Because I meant slotted. Okay, so they went through everything. So they discovered that it was the solid titanium magnesium plates that could create the same thing that this big fridge was doing, and people could do it right out of their home. And that was the beauty of it. Okay, so what is Kangen water? Like I said, it means return to origin in Japanese. Okay, and when you research Kangen water, when Sabina started bringing me this water and saying it's Kangen water, it's good for you, I Googled Kangen water scam. And anything you type scam, you're going to get a lot of stuff that's scam, because there's no policing of Google or doing these search engines. Okay, it's a paid advertising site, basically, is what it is. But if you want to do real research, okay, this is where doctors, scientists put their third-party peer-reviewed articles of studies of this water. So look up electrolyzed reduced water, molecular hydrogen, or hydrogen gas in PubMed.gov or Google Scholar. And one tip I always give people is look up electrolyzed reduced water and put diabetes at the end of it in Google Scholar and see what you get. I guarantee you're not going to find anything bad about this water, because it does nothing but improve our health. The whole planet is made up of hydrogen. Wouldn't it make sense to be able to have that in your body, right? Okay, so the ionization process, very simple. We go through a filter, a 3-stage filter that gets rid of all the chlorine impurities and lead, and then passes through these platinum titanium plates, gets electrically charged, and out of one hose comes the Kangen water, and out of the bottom hose comes the acidic water. So the water gets split. And what it does is it grabs calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and iron. Those are your electrolyte minerals that are naturally in water. They stay on the Kangen water side, so it's not depleting you of minerals. Like a lot of these drinks that I'm going to show you actually will deplete you of minerals. Okay, so at a press of a button, we're able to change the pH. I don't know if you can hear it, but we could change the pH or the oxidation or antioxidant levels of water. Okay, so Kangen water, 8.5 to 9.5. Okay, we have 9 in there. So if any of you that are on the call, we put people on a 21-day challenge. We start them off at 8.5 pH. And the reason for that is the lower is because some people will have detox effects. Elderly or some people that are, maybe a little sicker than they thought. And what happens is they either, their colon evacuates too fast or gets plugged up. Some people get acne, some people get headaches. That's detox. That's normally when you change to a healthier diet or healthier situation, your body wants a detox of all the acidic load that you've done over the years. Okay, so at a press of a button, we also make a clean water. That's just clean, filtered, non-ionized water, okay? Another press of a button, we make a beauty water, which is a toner astringent, rivals any toner astringents there is out there. We use it as a Windex. We'll talk about each one of these. We make a strong acid water, which is a 2.5. This machine makes a 1.5 pH strong acid water. This is actually hypochlorous acid, okay? And it's done not chemically. There's no chemicals to this. It's just salt, water, and electricity. And we make this hypochlorous acid that's amazingly healthy for us, okay? And we'll talk about that. Strong Kangen water, which is 11.5 pH. This is the emulsifier. This is the thing that replaces all the chemical cleaners in your household. And what that water is called is sodium hydroxide, okay? So I myself needed to know what is the scientific terms or the meaning of these waters, because you can't just tell me Kangen water this, Kangen water that. I need to know what that is because I don't want to consume it. And frankly, at the time, at the beginning, I thought she was full of it. She didn't know what she was talking about. She didn't have to. She just had to put the water in my mouth. Okay, so how do we get sick? Most people think we get sick through cancer, diabetes, and stuff like that. Well, there's actually something that leads up to it. Just like the preventative doctors, it's called the prevention of oxidative stress, acidosis, and dehydration. If you could prevent those, that could prevent a lot of diseases that are happening, because what is happening nowadays is through pollution, through our traffic, stress, the way we eat, what we drink, what we smoke, the alcohol we consume is oxidative acidosis and dehydration, okay? And through time, we just get sick because we deplete ourselves. So how do we stop it? We stop oxidative stress with antioxidants. We stop acidosis with alkalizing, and dehydration obviously with hydration, because I was a gallon of water a day drinker already before. So how can I be dehydrated? I'm going to show you why. Congo water has then 3 properties. It's an antioxidant, it's alkaline, and it has cellular hydration. So hopefully the person that introduced you to this or is about to introduce you, and you had the ability to try this water, how there's nothing fantastic. It's amazing water that the body starts to thrive right away, okay? And it's crazy what it does over time, and so gently. You know, a lot of things dissipate, which you had no idea was dissipating because it's so gentle. Okay, so the first property we're going to talk about is an antioxidant. So antioxidants, what they are is it's a molecule with a lot of electrons around it that are willing to donate. So how do we get oxidized is we have this crazy thing called a free radical. Okay, and when it's missing its electron, that's when it becomes so oxidizing to the body, it causes a chain reaction. So just like the chain reaction you see when you cut an apple in half, you see it start to brown. That's a chain reaction of oxidation happening to that apple. That's unstoppable, okay? But when you add antioxidants to it, it actually stops it because it donates that electron and is able to stabilize. And now you, as a human being, we could pee it away. As a fish tank, we could just clean the water. Just like our body is the fish tank. When the fish gets sick, you don't add pills. You actually add water, change the water. Okay, so how we get our antioxidants normally is through fruits and vegetables, right? So that's normally how we would consume that. Okay, so that electron gets paired, so now it's stable. So I want you to understand that when the fruit is on the tree, it's connected through electricity to the earth, okay? And as soon as you pull that apple off that tree, it starts to oxidize, okay? So the antioxidant property of that apple is starting to diminish right away, okay? So just like when you unplug your battery from a charger, it starts to dissipate on your phone, right? So it's the same thing. How old are the apples that you're eating from the grocery store? You know, quite a few days, I bet you. And they say within 2 or 3 days, it's lost its antioxidant value. It hasn't lost the nutrition, but the antioxidant, which helps fight off things, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure some of these drinks, and I'm going to show you what the oxidation reduction potential is. So I got this ORP meter that I'm going to show you. And what it does is basically shows you the speed that a liquid oxidizes, okay? So how the ability to reduce the oxidation of what's happening is the minus. So the minus is actually gaining us electrons. So remember that antioxidant has abundance of electrons to donate. That's what we want to be healthy. So just like our salads and our green teas are supposed to be super antioxidants. So anything in the positive on this chart will be stealing electrons. So that's what we don't want, because when you steal electrons, that's when the free radicals run rampant and we age and illnesses creep in. So hopefully that makes sense. This measures it in millivolts, this ORP meter. Okay. So I know this is backwards to you, but I'll just read it off. You'll just have to trust me. I'm an Army guy. I'll tell you where my address is. If you want to come and meet me and say I'm full of it, that's fine. So positive 580. Here's Gatorade. The pop represents all pops. They all come about the same depending on how long they're in the plastic for. Gatorade, supposed to be full of electrolytes, full of minerals, full of everything. This should be a minus. So let's see, positive 580, 583. Okay, Pellegrino, Perrier, sparkling mineral water. Europeans love this. It's supposed to be amazing water. So let's see how better it is. So it's going to go down a little bit, 500, 488, 480. 477, okay? So it's not going down very much. It's right there at the 470 range. Here's distilled water. went through a steam process of getting rid of all the impurities, but also got rid of all the natural minerals out of water. Remember those electrolyte minerals. So let's see. This was meant for medical reasons, to clean instruments and to put in CPAP machines because they wouldn't plug up because of the minerals. Okay, they call this pure water. So positive 430. Here is Dasani, which is reverse osmosis. Some people put $5,000 to $8,000 systems in their house thinking that's a healthy choice. So let's see what Dasani gets us. So 440, right in the 440s. Okay, again, 436. So then here's our tap water from Port Moody, and I know it has chlorine in it. So just so you guys know, it has chlorine. 500, 530, 540, still going up. Chlorine's an oxidant. Okay, so 570, I'll just keep that in there for a sec. Hopefully you guys could see that. And I'll pour my Kangen water, which has used that water, passed it through the machine, electrically charged it, and made Kangen water. So we'll test this. Okay, so what did we end up with? 440. So then here's Kangen water. I know it's backwards, guys. Set minus 770, minus 780, minus 795.
Yes, I'm reading that backwards. It looks good.
It looks good though. Okay, so minus 800, we hit 800. Okay, so let's go back to the pop. I just want to show you that we're not fooling you. Okay, positive 480, still going up. 495, let's go back to the Kangen. 760, minus 780, 790. Cool, right? So you guys agree there's only one antioxidant up here. Even though I can't see you, I'm sure you're saying yes, because I would be. Okay, so remember, we're measuring that in millivolts. Okay, so this chart that I'm going, so I'm just looking now at this side of the chart. Okay, so the green teas and salads are about minus 50 to minus 80. So this is where they end up as an antioxidant. Okay, so our vitamin C. So this chart is logarithmic. So if the water today was, say, minus 200 from minus 100, you'd have to times it by 6.9. Okay, so if we times it by 6.9 every time, so it doesn't mean 1, 200, 300, it's actually times 6.9. So what that would mean is you'd have to drink 6.9 glasses of green tea to match minus 200. Does that make sense? So if we go to minus, we keep going, times 6.9, times 6.9, times 6.9, times 6.9, times 6.9, you would have to drink almost 750,000 glasses of green tea to match that minus 800 that I just hit right now. Do you see now why this water is changing the world? And I love to hit the antioxidant because this is the water that doesn't last 2 or 3 days out of jugs. You have to drink it directly or close to directly from the machine. You know, I wouldn't, like myself, I have a machine, I wouldn't go more than a day. Like even when I come home with my container from the gym, well, I use this one, right, at the gym. As soon as I come home, I just use it in my coffee maker and I make my smoothie and then I dump it out and I'm now drinking fresh again if I had any water left over. Okay, so this is why this water is, this property is so important. Chronic disease is always because of low voltage in the body. Our body runs off millivolts, just like that meter, just like this water we're measuring was in millivolts. Okay, Dr. Tennant wrote the book, Healing is Voltage. His discovery was cells operate normally at minus 22 millivolts. So our cells in our body, minus 22 millivolts, okay? For the body to heal and make new cells, it needs to boost itself to minus 50 millivolts. Cancer cells turn on at positive 30 millivolts. Doesn't mean you're going to get cancer, even though it's 1 in 2 males and 1 in 3 females are getting cancer nowadays. But what do you think? There's some reason behind that, right? And when we consume drinks that have minerals ripped out of it and filtered out, water has a memory. It has the great ability to pull. So that when we drink this water, it actually pulls those minerals that were pulled out of it. It wants it back. And you drink it and it pulls the minerals and you pee it away. That's why there's so many people that are mineral deficient. Those minerals, when they pass, the cells pass in our blood, that causes another charge to us. So that's why we lose, again, more millivolts. So this discovery of the aquaporin, they discovered that down here is the inside of the cell. This is the cell wall. And they discovered this aquaporin, this channel that has the ability to allow water into it, okay? But they also discovered that it has a positive charge and it acts just like a magnet. So if you have positive water going over it, a positive and a positive in magnets repel each other, right? So not much is going to get sucked into that cell. So it's not till we have the Kangen water with that minus, it now gets pulled in because minus and a positive react to each other. It now brings it into the cell, upregulates the mitochondria, it gets its electrical charge, bang, amazing. So I want to show you exactly what happens here, because on the left, you have this blood cell that's stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. And what happens is the water comes into effect. I've seen it as little as 3 minutes to a couple days, depending on how acidified you are. And it goes into a healthy. So I want to show you, because we have a lot of live blood cell analysis people on our team, like brilliant people that will test your blood before you start Kangen water, and then you test it again right at their presentation. So I want to show you what happens. Okay, so you can see there's not much movement and the cells are kind of stuck together.
Now it's going.
And this is
my
after.
Goodness, these are your beautiful cells. See how white and light they are separated? Holy macaroni, look at them. Look how they bounce from each other. So they're
and
separated, so they're hydrated.
Now.
Yes, the white circle.
Gosh,
you see how they
awesome.
push? They have that electrical charge.
Wow.
Okay, crazy? This is what we see all the time, okay? It's not just a filter. That's the thing. It's hard to get over people to understand what the technology we're talking about is. Okay, so think of yourself now as a battery, okay? You grow up, you're born, you're full of piss and vinegar, and you got so much energy throughout your teens, and then slowly it starts to wander off, right? Through our lifestyle, through stress, through jobs, through our diet, through partying, through everything, you start to deplete. And this is where these aches and pains, illnesses, flus, everything starts kicking in. Okay, so wouldn't it make sense that instead of depleting yourself, you say, just like if you go on vacation, you're going to recharge your batteries because you're beside the ocean, you're getting that electrical charge, you get your feet deep into the sand, you're feeling that energy, you come back home and it goes, whoa. Okay, so wouldn't it make sense to be one of these, a rechargeable battery? And you are when you have one of these that creates that. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because that property for that minus is fleeting. It doesn't last. So you need it right from your machine. That's why people who have any health issues need on this water immediately. And if you're worried about getting issues and you think something's, oh, it happens in our family, we all get it. Not when you got one of these. You stop that trend right in its tracks. Okay, so the next property we're going to talk about is the alkalinity. Okay, so whether a drink is acidic or alkaline. So pH scale is potential hydrogen. 7 is neutral. The scale goes from 0 to 14. our blood is trying to be slightly alkaline at 7.36 to 7.45. Anywhere outside of that means coma or death. But surrounding tissue can become acidic, and that's when you get into the problems of sickness and disease. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pH drops, and I'm going to measure these. And this combination of phenol red and phenol blue, it gives me that full color spectrum, whereas hot tub drops only give me the 6 to 8 range. Okay, so put a few drops in each. So you could see already, right? It's just crazy. So you look at pot, remember how oxidizing that is? Hopefully you could see it there. Okay, this is a pH of 2.5. So the pH scale on the scale there, if we go 7 to 6, it's not 1, it's now times 10. So it's logarithmic that way. So it's 10 times 10 times 10. So if we go from 7 all the way to 2.5, this is 50,000 times more acidic. And if we go from our blood to 2.5, 10 times 10 times 10, it's 80,000 times more acidic than our blood. Okay, do you think we have health problems? How about this? Gatorade pushed to all the kids. This is 2.5, okay? Pellegrino. There's books that say that's alkaline. Does that look alkaline? No, not at all. Distilled water. Only put it in CPAP machines. Don't put it in your body. Okay? Reverse osmosis. We get some reverse osmosis where they're adding magnesium or calcium or bicarbonate buffers into it to change the pH. But when you add stuff like that to water, your body doesn't recognize it as a true alkaline water. Okay, here's our tap water. Okay, but it was positive, what, 600, almost at the 600 range. Okay, they have to inject lye, ash, ammonia at the pump station to make it extremely alkaline, so that by the time it gets to you through all the pipes, it's slightly alkaline. It's supposed to be right at no more or less than 7 pH. But the only reason for that is if it was acidic, it would actually be rusting the pipes. So that's the only reason they put those chemicals in there, okay? Is that crazy? So then took that, charged the water, created Kangen water, 9.5. Beautiful, right? So on this next point, I want to show you that you have some doctors that say you should never drink more than 7 pH because that's where our blood is. You have to be in your blood. Okay, then how come almost everything that we eat is acid forming? Doesn't it make sense to be alkaline? To eat only alkaline? But that's extremely hard to do. It's really hard to do. I'm plant-based and I still think it's hard to do, okay? And so when I was a steak and potato guy and everything else, if there was broccoli on my plate, I would push it away. And that was the only alkaline thing I was consuming. It would actually be pushed. That was the only antioxidant I would have. Okay, so wouldn't it make sense now to help your body from what you're eating and consuming and to change the pH to now be able to help your body and balance that out? Does that make sense? I hope it does. It makes sense to me. So let's see. I'm going to represent now, these drinks are going to represent your body, okay? So you got yourself to a certain point where you're on a water trial. This will represent before the water trial and how acidic you were, okay? So let's see, we add Kangen water, we get ourselves back to alkaline very fast. How about this? Represents that stress in life, okay? It's very acid form, probably the worst thing that could happen to you. You could be amazingly healthy, stress will destroy it. What happened to my PTSD? Amazing. Okay, how about this steak dinner at Earl's? Okay, very acid forming, but I got my water at the table. Change my pH real fast. This one will try to fool you. I'll go right here so you see it. Okay, it wants you to believe that it's healthy, but right back to yellow. What is that doing in your body? Okay. Gatorade pushed to all the kids. not doing nothing. Let's go Kangen right into the pot. Absolutely nothing, okay? And I'm gonna show you now, okay? You're on a water trial, you got yourself alkaline, you decide you're gonna have a little sip, so you have a little sip. And you completely destroy that. Have another sip. I'm not very good at pouring today. Another sip, you completely destroy it. How about you do that? This is all Kangen water. You have a little cap full. That was a little bit more than a cap full. Okay, you have your cap. You go for a drink. What's it doing? You see it changing? This is what you're doing to your body. You're acidifying your whole body, and that was a cap. And this was 1.5 liters in here. Is that crazy? Crazy. How was that one, Sabina?
Wow. Wow. That was very, very shocking. Good one.
Do a little cleanup.
Like it's completely, yeah, wow. All the purple's gone.
Yeah,
No alkaline. Yeah.
go on. Okay, so next will be this. Okay, so the next one is cellular hydration. Why? I was drinking 1 gallon of water every day before this, and why was it not penetrating into my body? So this is what this is all about. Okay, high pH water stimulates, increases the gastric emptying. So what happens is right down here, we got this pyloric sphincter. Okay, and it's pH sensitive. So when we drink Kangen water, it senses that it has an alkaline water and it opens up and it dumps it right into our small intestine. So that's why a lot of people, when they drink Kangen water, unless they're eating it with meals, which you're not supposed to, I mean, you shouldn't be drinking anything with meals, but basically when you drink it, you don't feel that swooshing, you don't get bloated. But when you drink an acidic water, what happens is it sits in your stomach, that valve will not open. And when your body has to pull bicarbonate buffers from all over your hair, your bone, your teeth, pulling, your osteoporosis kicks in because you're drinking too much acid. And what happens is once it becomes alkaline again inside your stomach, you're so tired of this sitting in your belly that you don't drink as much as you should. And they discovered that the normal tap water, bottled water is only 15% hydrating, where Kangen water or electrolyte reduced water is actually 95% hydrating. Just like it going into the cell, right? It's actually filling up every part of your body. Okay, so cooking, germination. I mean, cooking, I thought somebody else was cooking in our kitchen because our food tasted so much different. The flavors were unreal, like the soups and stews that we used to enjoy just were crazy, amazing flavor. Even our coffee, we had to actually cut back on our coffee, how much we put in the container because it enhanced the coffee so much. It was crazy. So germination, 3 times the growth and 3 times the speed. Supplements, you're going to actually be able to lower your supplement amounts that you have, because what you're going to see is its ability to enhance what you're consuming so that it drives it deep into your cells. Okay, and then our super smoothies and everything else that we're having. So yeah, I'm going to do a tea bag text, and I'm going to kind of show, it kind of represents our cell wall, but basically how it penetrates and pulls flavors. Okay, so we have this green tea, and this represents all teas, or all, it doesn't represent anything. I got this tea because it doesn't have any dyes in it, so that we're not fooling anything. Okay, so that's why that green tea. I don't know, I got sidetracked. So we normally make tea with boiling water. Not this time. We make it with tap water. Or do we? Just Just water right out of the tap, no heating. Not making much tea. What's going on? Okay. Kangen water. Making tea. Is that crazy? Okay, so you can see, like, imagine that now. It got in there and it pulled it out, but I think, okay, maybe because the bag was wet, but if not, that's going to take my supplements, my smoothies, my soups, stews, all that amazing nutrition deep into my body the way it was meant to. That would make sense, right? So then let's go and say, okay, it must be because the bag was wet. So let's go back to the tap water. I don't know. Maybe there's no more tea left in the tea bag. Okay, go back. Kangen water. I don't know. Maybe it's the water. What do you think? We're making tea. So that's incredible. Okay, so you could see just the power of this water and what it's able to do. So not only is it going to go deep into our cells with that electrical charge, you know, so now it's going to take all that expensive supplements that now you could cut in half and save money because you're going to use it all. You're not going to use 15% of it with the other waters that you're making it with. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So understanding that Kangen water with its electrical charge drives the high pH deep into the cells, allowing the body to flush, hydrate, return your electrical charge without depletion of minerals, right? And this is why we are returning our body back to origin. Hopefully that makes sense. We're returning the water back to origin because deep into the glaciers you drill, you have water just like this, okay? Way back in time before we butchered water and ran it through straight pipes and through straight canals and everything else. So we actually did a misservice to our water, okay? So I'm done with this. I'm so glad everybody's on the call. It's crazy, awesome. Okay, so next, at a press of a button, we're able to make a clean water. So remember, that's not ionized, that's just crisp filtered water. Some people like to take it with medications, but Dr. Horst Filzer, who's an advisor to Enagic, says your stomach acids have to break down that medication anyway, so you could just drink the Kangen water. And I personally, when I was still on medications back in the day, I felt it enhanced the medication, actually worked faster. So judge on your own. Press of another button, we're able to make that beauty water, which is a toner, skin and hair plants, cleans windows and mirrors, glass. This is where Sabine started saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars, probably thousands of dollars a year through our house and through her cleaning business. Okay, because no more toxic Windex. And just using a microfiber cloth, she was able to do a whole bunch of stuff. And we just love this water. I really love it for noodles because it makes it al dente, but I also love it for my rice. It just makes the rice fluffy and amazing. Press another button out of the bottom hose now, because the water gets split, remember? So out of the bottom hose, we make this hypochlorous acid, this 2.5. This is for skin issues, cuts, pink eye, hot spots, strep throat. We got so many pictures of before and afters of gangrene on people, like eczema, psoriasis. It's just crazy what this is able to do. And that 2.5 water is just like having a hospital in your home. It really does. Any kind of, you feel a bug coming on where you feel, especially this time of year, you feel something, you just gurgle some of this and you could actually take a little shot glass and drink it and it's not going to harm you. Any stomach bug you think you might be getting, have a little shot glass of this. It's amazing what it does. Okay, out of a press of another button, I'm going to hit this one a little bit harder, just like the antioxidant, because this is another water that we use massively. Okay, this is that sodium hydroxide. This is 11.5. This is your emulsifier, your degreaser, the massive savings. Doing laundry save you thousands of dollars every year. Okay, we use it for food preparation, dissolving grease, to marinate, tenderize meats, sterilize fruits, vegetables, remove slime, stain, brush our teeth, wash clothes, reduce redness and inflammation. Inflammation, just, you know, soak a rag, put it right on wherever is inflamed, just let it sit there, and it's just amazing what it does. For laundry, we add 4 cups of the 11.5 with a little bit of essential oil, and we just dump it right into the wash. Front load, top load, doesn't matter. The machine will adjust to any water that's in there anyways. And we haven't used any detergents in 9.5 years, going to be close to 10 years without buying any detergent. Okay, and so many people have skin issues with that now, right? Okay, so how we love using it the most though is through washing our produce. Okay, so most of us wash it through chlorinated water. Hopefully you have good non-chlorinated water, but most of these fruits and vegetables, even if you're consuming organic, have traces of pesticides on them. Okay, and they're all oil-based, because when they spray and make it oil-based, it'll actually stick to your produce when you're washing or when it rains. Okay, it doesn't come off because it's very expensive to apply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash some of these tomatoes for you, and this water actually gets stronger with time as a degreaser. Okay, it's just amazing. We keep it in dark containers. We usually make 2 or 3 gallons at a time, and we just let it sit there and just let it build its energy. So we have just great tomatoes that we just bought, and we have bought tomatoes that I'll explain it in a bit later. I didn't have to do that many. Okay. Okay, so normally we wash it in our tap water, so that's what I'll do here. Okay, then we're going to wash this one with our 11.5 degreaser. Okay, and while it's doing that, we'll just let it sit there. I'll show you what's happening with this sesame oil. Okay, just pure sesame oil. And I like pure stuff because what I'm about to do to this is why you should be having pure oils when you cook in that, okay? Because that's when it's bioacceptable to the body. It's not a synthetic, or it's not heat pressed, okay? So oil and water, you were taught in school, don't mix, right? So sure enough, you could see that. You see the line? It doesn't mix. So now, let's see what my water does. Wow, emulsified it right away. You see that? That's crazy, right? Okay, broke down the proteins and started separating it all in that glass. Okay, so at the same time, I'll give this a little stir. And it was cool because Sabine talked about that big home demo that we did. And one of the big ones, even though they loved the before and after of what they tried here, was night and day. They got a kick out of us soaking a bottle of wine unopened in Kangen water. And we had 2 bottles of wine. One was this, they were the same brand, one soaked in 9.5 for an hour. And then we did a taste test. And it was like night and day. It was it was the first time I'd visually seen people drinking the wine like that. And it was like amazing to watch. And they said, you should have just did the wine test. It would have been sold then. So our tap water, obviously nothing come off. But in my mind, I cleaned that, right? It's clean. So then here's our 11.5. Is that crazy? You see how much stuff come off of there? Maybe better here. Okay, this company decided to put a food coloring in their pesticide spray to enhance the look, because that color on red actually enhances the look. And there's some companies that don't put that food coloring in, and you don't get, it'll end up looking like this, but the taste is night and day. Because this water has an electrical charge too, and now it's driving it deep into that tomato or any fruit, and it's making it super fruit. And especially when I rinse it out with the 9.5 later, it's amazing what happens. Okay, so here's a little video. I'll just let it run. This is a stove top. She's running her finger on it. You could see just how stuck on it is. And what she has is she has her bottle of 11.5 that we've had now for 9.5 years. Well, geez, the whole time. And we've never had to go down that chemical aisle. And you could see just her spraying cold degreaser water on that is taking it right off. So this is why it's amazing just as an oven off. Okay, so I just want to show you that it is just water. Okay, so it is just water, really good for migraine and good as a hangover cure. But laundry, it's able to emulsify. That's why only 4 cups in a large capacity, because this is 100 times stronger than 9.5, and it's going to degrease your clothes safely, organically. More organic. What's more organic than water, salt, and electricity? Nothing. Okay, the whole universe is made of it. Okay, so the chlorine also, because we filter the chlorine out, it doesn't get added to your fruits and vegetables, your produce, or yourself. And that's another carcinogen, right? So it's amazing not having that on our fruits and vegetables, adding another thing that makes us sick to our system. Okay, so just savings, owning a machine. You buy a machine and directly out of the box, you never have to buy this stuff ever again. Lysol, 409, Windex, mouthwash, teeth whitener, Tilex, Listerine, grout cleaner, facial toner, laundry detergent, stain remover, plant fertilizer, acne products, makeup remover, Pine Sol. It just goes on, and the list just keeps going, because everything down that cleaning aisle, you never have to buy again. Okay, plus for garden use, you could use the runoff water when you're making 9.5. It's amazing, that acidic water on plants, it's like miracle grow. It's crazy. Pot growers love the beauty water because it keeps the pH at a constant, and they get 3 times the yield, and no harsh chemicals are created from it. Okay, pets love it. We put three bowls down, 8.5, 9, and 9.5, and we see which one the dog prefers. Put a chlorine water one next to it, it'll never drink it again. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Okay, so savings over of $4,000 per year minimum. Okay, so it's just great. This is just 2 people, just Sabine and I. That's what our savings was. Okay, so now if the machine is supposed to last 20 plus years, wouldn't you think that spending $4,000 and having it for the next 20 years, you would have spent $80,000? Isn't that a wise investment? Aren't you tired of throwing money away? We're getting taxed like crazy. We were talking about that today, like from the paycheck to everything, we're getting so taxed, our food, and then we get taxed again when we have to do income tax. It's just crazy, okay? Wouldn't you like to invest and actually have something pay you back? You keep that money in your pocket, okay? We have several different machines, and these are 3 of the big guns, okay? So the top left is the SD501. That's the original one that's changed my life. This is the workhorse of the ionizers. This is the one that they're putting 500 gallons through in UFC, MMA gyms. Naturopathic offices is just crazy. Like a lot of bodybuilding gyms, 500 gallons a day coming through that machine, and there's no limit on how much you use it. The middle one, the platinum, is the same machine as the SD51, just with that nice platinum look, and it matches all stainless steel, and it speaks 5 languages, does all the waters. All these do all the waters. And then the bottom, like this one here, is the Conganate. This has 8 plates. It's the super antioxidant. It's the super easiest one to use. It has its own pump system for actually doing your own e-cleaning with citric acid. And what I love about this one is it has a built-in voltage regulator. So I'm able to go anywhere in the world. If, say, I'm going to India where they have 220 volts, I could actually just use the plug for there. Okay, so I could come back, it's all built in within the machine. So I never have to go without my water, because remember, I can't go more than 2 or 3 days. My symptoms slowly come back. See, the water didn't cure me. It's keeping my immune system up so high that things don't affect me anymore. And it does the same thing with a lot of other people. Purchase options. We have Medicard here in Canada. It starts from $50 to $120 per month. Okay, they're a little tight right now with the COVID coming, but they're still, if you have good credit, you're going to get those kind of cool numbers, which is very easy. 5-year plan, no penalty for payout. We also have the Enagic payment system, and that's $1,059 down. This is for the SD 501 now, okay? And payments are $225 per month for 16 months, and it's paid off. It's done. So $1,059 down, you have your machine, you're able to save thousands of dollars right out of the box, and you're going to save well over that $225 a month easily. I'm telling you. Okay, so 5-year warranty, reputable Japanese company since 1974. That's how long they've been around. 20 to 30-year life expectancy. We just keep adding years because the machines keep lasting that long. We have our original one from 10.5 years ago, and it runs the same way it did from day one, because I do these tests all the time and I see what my machine is at, and I maintain it as well. Okay, approved as a medical device by the Japanese Ministry of Health and Welfare. Platinum coated titanium plates. They're not slotted and they're not mesh. We put a lot of watts through our machine to create what we do, and it needs it. It's been perfected since 1974, okay? And it has all these awards because of it. Okay, industry's best automatic self-cleaning system. I said that kind of backwards, but what that is it measures 15 minutes of you running the water, and when you shut it off, it'll actually tell you notice of cleaning, or it cleans it depending on the machine. So this one will actually store its own water, and actually it'll clean itself. It reverses the polarity of the plates, and it descales itself. The other machines, actually you just run the water for about 30 seconds and it does the same thing, descales itself and cleans itself. Okay, patented technology that cannot be copied. Only the Enagic ionizers can produce that hypochlorous acid and that sodium hydroxide water, that hospital on your counter, that super cleaner, does amazing things. Like these two waters are priceless. I don't know how anybody goes without it. Okay, cost per year, the machine comes with a filter and 1 bottle of electrolysis enhancer. So you're ready to go right away. But the extra electrolysis enhancer, you'll have to get more of it eventually, because it only makes about 5 gallons of water. So we buy a case of 24 for $70, and it lasts us all year. And a filter every year, so you'll be good for a year. But after that year, a filter will be like from $120 to $140, depending. We have 2 months that are saving months. Okay, so basically to run a machine is $190 per year. Very affordable, right? One medical device to produce different waters, water to drink and hydrate your body, detoxify your cells, enhance your health, improve your skin and hair, clean your produce, add to the quality of your cooking, go germ-free, clean everything in your home, do your laundry, last you a lifetime if you maintain it, and the power to share with everyone. I was at the point in my life where I was going to be another soldier. That was it. And it wasn't because of all my ailments and everything else. I was so tired of seeing my family not be able to live their life like it should have been lived. Okay, they were taking care of me, and Sabina was working her hands to the bone. Okay, quite literally, because her hands from the chemicals were actually bleeding. They were so dried up and cut up. Okay, so if the person didn't share this water with us, I don't know where I would be right now. And my dad with cancer, a bunch of other friends with a lot of massive issues have completely reversed because I said yes. The person before me said yes. The person before that said yes. So it had to come through that chain of people saying yes, and I'm going to share it too. That's the beauty of this company. I could give unlimited water for free. I don't charge for the water. It's against company policy to sell any of this water. I share it for free, and if you love it, you buy a machine. That's as simple as it is. So our goal is that you have your family, friends, you bought your machine. We're going to have a let's get to know your new toy party, and they start drinking the water, and your aunts, uncles, Aunt Betty, Uncle Tim, they all start wanting their own machines because they're tired of actually coming over and having to get their water from you. Okay, and they've seen these other waters that it makes, and they want to be able to do that right out of their home. So basically, if you bought the K8 and then all of them buy a K8, what happens now is you've completely returned the money that you forked out for that machine with taxes. Okay, isn't that crazy? So 9 people, you've completely made yourself debt free from your machine, and you're saving well over $4,000 out of the box. Is that not amazing? That's what made sense to me. And now all this health was just bonus. So what to do now? Get back to the person who invited you, go over the different machines. Welcome to True Health. I really hope I see all of you on a call or in your homes doing presentations. You know, you're all part of our team. I want you to join our team. We want you to get your machine for free. We want you to benefit. We want you to benefit your family. We want you to benefit the world. I need help sharing this water. I can't do it myself, even though I could. If I'd have lineups of people, just like they had hospitals in Japan, they would be coming to my door because I think this is that important. Okay? Welcome to our team. Love you guys. That's my presentation.